Hello and welcome back. This is Frederick from Tektronix. I'm going to show you a video how to trigger on a consistency of ones or zeros or 1010 in a bit stream. In this case it's a 10 gigabit bit stream I'm looking at, produced from my AWG into my scope through a SMA cable as usual. So these at least show you how I do it, and I think it's an easy way to get some results. And by the way, it's a PRBS 16 kind of data. So first of all, important, this is what I do. I go in here, constant sample rate, put it to 100, fine, go down, go to display persistence infinite. I do this at least for live traffic to get the feeling what's going on. Then we go to trigger. It's so easy. Go to trigger and you go to width. Positive width is consistency of ones and negative is consistency of zeros, but the trick is to press this one over here. People tend to forget that one. So the upper limit, you can put whatever you want, and as this is a PRBS signal, at one point I will get a very stable triggering. So we could just go down this way, and I think here we have a stable trigger. You go back to display persistence, no persistence, and here you go. Very simple. So let's go for a single shot, because this portion over here, this is what I want to show you. So let's do a two, it doesn't really matter, so we do a single. So this one here will actually copy the trigger settings and show it up here. So when I've done it, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 arrows, and I can investigate them by going to the search. So this is standard from all our scopes. You go to the results tab. It actually measured the width for you. We can see that this is the longest, and if I click one of these, I will actually zoom into that portion. Yeah, this is when I go to next and next and next and next and next and back. So one of the cool features I like about this, if you have, you think there's an odd behavior in one of the patterns you have, and you want to, look at the eye diagram just for that pattern, you can just add things. So I go for this just very simple mask test here. I will do TIE, I go for plots, I will do eye diagram, and I just recalc. So this is one settings we have. It's complete, the complete acquisition we will do an eye diagram about. But the second part will in this will be that we can define a part. So this is all the bits that we have. But if I go in here, it's important that you're around the trigger. And I add something around here saying that we want to do it up to here. I just add, okay, visual trigger, add visual trigger area. And you can see what happens here. The search criteria actually changes. It's a little bit longer. If I now go to configure and go to global and qualify off and put it as search 0 and just recalc it, it will only take that part of all these bursts over here and do eye diagram. And this is a way, to determine if a bit sequence is wrong or if a bit sequence is bad or not. It's very simple. And the last thing that I would like to share with you is how you can, trigger on ones and zeros, alternative patterns a little bit. We go to default setup. I go here to acquisition. I put this into 100 gigasample. Now I tweak a little bit. So I use the visual trigger. So I can know that it needs to be, I just add visual trigger, add visual trigger. It needs to be there, and it needs to be here. I think you get the point. It needs to be here. And it needs to be if there's something over here. So a quick overview, there's probably better ways of doing this, but in principle, this is the way I do it. So you have up to 8 zones that you can define. And if you go up here and do a single, you trigger on it, hopefully, here you go. And you go into the trigger menu. I think it's beautiful. You can just mark this one. So if you have a little bit longer memory, I'm not sure what happened there. And you just do single, you can actually do, you do the marks. So you can see this very simple pattern, it's everywhere. So just as a final thing, some few words on the visual trigger. So we just stop this one. Some people ask me also, what is visual trigger? You hold your mouse and you left click and you go into visual trigger area, and you can do a lot of things here from it. You can edit shapes, you can have hexagon, you can go in here, add more vertex, and you can create, and you can, if you click one of those, so it's red. Oh, of course it doesn't work now. If one of them gets red, you can move it around and do a very strange thing. But this shape, the shaping is absolute numbers, so it's actually scales with zooming. You can see that. So if you go in here now to the trig menu, there's a visual trigger set up, and you can have this logical in and out and everything, but you can also go here and just add a name, Frederick. I think that's funny. And you can add vertical, horizontal for more and more points. So you can just add a lot of points. You can see, I don't know how many. I can flip and rotate. I can do whatever. I can change the position. So the area itself is just a mathematical expression. You can use that. I've seen somebody doing like a fork. You put the fork down in a data stream to trigger. I hope you like this.